Hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Friday lunchtime, which means it's time for us to be talking about coping with feelings. And a very happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are celebrating this weekend. I am certain that you have lots to be thankful for, as do we all. And also, I'm certain you're going to have more than enough food to last you probably for the rest of the month. And isn't it amazing, really, when you think about it, for when we have these big celebrations, we pig out, there's no doubt about it. And then we wonder why we have a problem. It's a bit like me, and I am very pleased to tell you my major feeling at the moment is I have finished my Halloween candy. Thank goodness. My blood sugar is coming back to normal again. But I was very diligent about portioning out the candy, and I was allowed so much a day, and but it's gone. And now the next thing is I almost learned how to be able to have my candy treats and keep my blood sugar under control at the same time. Didn't quite perfect it, but I was getting pretty close to it by the time I finished the candy, which makes me think I might buy another box one day. Just so that you know, for those of you who are here, our admin Jody is busy getting some prescription filled at the moment, and she will be with us if she can. But in the meantime, I just wanted to let you know that there's a reason why you won't see her popping up at the moment. So we'll look forward to seeing her if she manages to get here. And if not, that's okay. She works so hard all the time for us that I'm certain we can all, and she needs to get this medication. So no problem for me at all. I wonder if you all have good feelings about Thanksgiving, for those of you who celebrate it, and for those of you who have not so good feelings, make sure that you leave comments either here on the live chat or on the comments below if you're watching it on the replay, because I think it's really important for us all to understand that not everybody has good feelings about Thanksgiving. Some of us get very stressed about it. Some of us get very angry because we have to deal with people who are not easy to deal with, and we have some issues with, and so forth. So let me know what's going on and what help, if any, you would like as a result of this particular Thanksgiving. Just so that you all know who we are, DearMamaSal is a group of people who get together. It's not just me. It's not all about me, people. It's a group of people who get together and we discuss our lives. Why? Because isn't it true that we all have the necessity to cope with stuff, and we need to cope with our feelings, which is what we talk about on a Friday lunchtime. We need to cope with life, which we talk about on Friday evenings, 7 o'clock Pacific, for those of you who would like to join us. And then for those of you who deal with stress, we talk about that, coping with stress, on a Sunday afternoon at 3:30 Pacific time. Remember to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, because that's where I update everybody about news, about our viewers, if it comes up during the week, and also to advise you when we're going to be doing broadcasts. And just a final reminder before we get on with the program, just remind you that I am not a therapist or anything else. The views you hear are just my own, that I've learned through having a few years on this planet or done quite a bit of research or whatever. So just understand that that's where it's coming from. Our thoughts and prayers this week, let's start as usual, are for Erin. She has got surgery coming up on the 1st of December. And that will be, as she has a kidney stone operation happening, I believe. So thoughts and prayers for Erin on that day. I I believe, I'm hoping that Kimmy will be here because I believe that she saw the cardiologist this week rather, and about her heart. She's really got quite serious stuff going on with her heart at the moment, and so I'll be, interested to hear an update from her. Uh, Pat, I know, has a birthday on the 2nd, and we know that Jeannie's husband, York, has LASIK surgery. That's on his eyes, all right, on his left eye, actually, and he's having that on the 2nd as well. So our thoughts and prayers go out, and I'm hoping, I did hear from Trina, who celebrated her 50th last week, and it's great to know that she's doing well and had a good time. If there are any other birthdays or important dates for you coming up, please let me know at dearmamasal@gmail.com, so that I can add it to our list. I want to, as usual, thank our viewer Lynn, who does the little pictures that we put up. They're called thumbnails. There's little pictures that we put up to warn you about a broadcast coming up. And I just am so grateful to her for the work that she does to help me with that. And I also wanted to thank all of you who wrote to me because I was not well last week. I had a flu bug, and isn't it amazing? All right, we no longer have a flu bug and just go, oh, it's the flu. We have a flu bug and go, oh my gosh, I hope it's not. And we don't know whether it is or isn't, and that's maybe more scary. And but anyway, I just wanted to let you know that not only did I do that, but then I pulled a muscle in my back. It was like inside. I don't know how it was. It was inside my rib cage, and it was just so painful. But the good news was the doctor gave me. Yeah, I did actually go to the doctor. I stopped complaining about it, and went to the doctor to see what he had to say, and he gave me some heavy duty anti-inflammatories, and they took about 24 hours to kick in, to build up the strength. But I want to tell you, once they kicked in, the that basically was the end of the problem. Although I was careful because, and I just reminded everybody about this, even though I didn't feel the pain anymore, I was, that's just the medication working. I worked very hard to not over exert myself, because I knew that the anti-inflammatories were dulling the pain. Doesn't mean that it still isn't a problem. So I was very careful. I behaved myself, quite surprisingly, and I am fine. So let's talk about your feelings for the week. And as I said, to me, it is interesting that we have that we have feelings every week, don't we? And yet these, what I call celebration weeks, are perhaps more stressful for a lot of us. Now, it's funny that some people love entertaining, my sister being one of them. They just love entertaining. They don't find that stressful necessarily. They just have so much joy out of it. And yet other people do it but find it very stressful. And I think part of that is because, it is out of our normal routine, right? And we have a routine that we get into. And when anything comes in that messes with that routine, then we have stress building up, and our feelings are, why do I do this? Or if you enjoy it, you pre-plan it, you've got it all planned out, you schedule it in, you lay the table one day, and you pre-cook some of the part of the meal. You don't feel you have to cook it all on the same day. You've got enough room in your freezer or fridge to accommodate everything because you planned it that way. Yeah. And isn't that true of life though? Right? If we're organized and if we've planned our life, it is so much easier. I know that this week, for example, we heard, for those of you who've been following the news, British Columbia, where I live here in Canada, I live in southern British Columbia, fairly close to the border. And we have had devastating rains. We had more rain in one day than we normally have in the whole month of November, which is normally a rainy month for us. But we have had phenomenal amount of rain, and you've probably seen it. It's not every day that our area gets to be in the international news, but I saw us on on the international news, so that was quite scary. And hi there, good to see you. Is it Pashalis? I'm certain I didn't pronounce that correctly. And Eva, hi, from Thessalonica in Greece. It's really always delightful to see you. Thank you for popping in. So that's the whole question, though, is do you find entertaining something that's good or not? All right. And so we start with that. I must say that to me, when I look at this rain issue that we had, here's the reality. We just heard in the last 24 hours that there are 3 more of those, what they call atmospheric rivers. It's like God has a giant fire hose and just opens it up. And, it's like monsoon rains. And we're not used to having rains like that. It's just absolutely amazing. 3 this week. We just had one. We had one yesterday, and there are 2 more coming in. So I don't know about you, but my feelings are of great sadness for all those people who are already in flooded areas, because what's going to happen is that is going to totally, the land is already saturated. That's just going to increase the flooding everywhere. So I am just very grateful I don't live in a flood zone. And I think if you talk about Thanksgiving weekend, I gave thanks time and time again that, I am not in an area that gets flooded. And I know people who are in that area that got quite serious flooding. And, I don't know, you probably wouldn't know this, but that area that got flooded close to me, about an hour away, in fact, half an hour away. That area is a big agricultural area. It's the area where all the tulips come up, where a lot of the agriculture for the local area is done. And that land is just totally swamped. I wonder what will happen to all the tulip bulbs, whether they've been, destroyed or, they're going to be tulips growing in all sorts of strange places next year. Because so much of that water, I think, will move the tulips, and that will be so sad, won't it? But not only the tulips, it's all the other agriculture that happens down there, and a lot of chicken farms and stuff like that are all there, and very difficult for so many people. And that means, of course, if you think about it, that the cost of vegetables and flowers and things like that in my area are going to go up exponentially. It's going to go right up next year because we won't have the local produce. It got washed out. And so I'm being prepared, not scared about that one. How about, did you have any feelings of excitement this week? I surely did, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a couple of Black Friday scores that I did. And so I just wonder if any of you had any excitement this week. And if so, leave me a comment here, or if you can, leave a comment in the comments below if you're watching it on the replay. And what was exciting for you this week? What happened that you felt excited about it? That is, awesome. I'm pretty excited. For those of you who know Benji, he's coming to visit me next week. So I'm very excited about that. I haven't seen him since the beginning of the pandemic. He came to visit just after I moved in here. So that is January, a year back. You go back to January. So nearly 2 years ago. I haven't seen him for nearly 2 years, if you can imagine that. Or the family, obviously. So really, really sad about that. But I'm really quite excited to be able to see him. And so I'll have news for you about that. And how about feelings of achievement? Did any of you have any feelings of achievement this week? I'm just trying to think what I did that I felt good about in terms of achieving. I am about to um, I am about to mail out my U.S. Christmas cards. They are waiting on my doormat, so that as I go out, I will pick them up and go mail them. Hi, Sam. Good to see you. And so I am looking forward to being able to get those on their way. And I wonder how many of you have achieved that. How many of you have got your international uh, Christmas cards already in the mail, for those of you who celebrate Christmas? And how many of you are going, not yet? And this year, I have to say that I started making Christmas cards in July. So that is why I have got them up. They're all handmade and personalized, and I am really happy with that. Now then, I just want to add to this that I do have some feelings of fear this week. And the reason for that is I just heard, and I don't know if you guys have been following the news, but I just heard that there is yet another variant of the COVID virus that is now in southern Africa. And they're not sure whether the vaccines that we have are going to protect us against it. Now, the fact that it's already in 5 countries in southern Africa worries me. Why? Because how many people from any of those 5 countries have already arrived in your country or mine? All right, and are now spreading this new variant that we don't have protection against. And, I think this is going to be an ongoing thing. I hate to say this. I just think we are going to keep having these variants. And part of the problem was we didn't vaccinate the world sufficiently, or not everybody wanted to get vaccinated. And so now we've got mutations on mutations, and that's pretty scary. However, I am hoping against all hope that, I've got enough protection inside me to sort of protect against most of it. And for those of you who are vaccinated, I understand that, that is a choice. And for those of you who chose not to get vaccinated, I get that as well. So it's just so scary for us all. And let's put our thoughts and prayers out that we get this one under control pretty darn quickly, if possible. And if that means yet another vaccine, so be it. I've got some quotes that I've got for you this week about Thanksgiving. And James Faust said, "The thankful heart opens our eyes to a multitude of blessings that continually surround us." Right? And how many of you are so grateful for your life and thankful for all the blessings that you have? All right? And it's just like, think about that. We are so lucky. And we have so lucky on so many levels and so many things to be thankful for. And my next question is, it's Black Friday. Did any of you already order up Black Friday gifts? And if so, well done. I would have to say that this year, because of the supply chain problems, if you manage to have enough money set aside to be able to buy on Black Friday, you are ahead of the game. The other thing is this, that as long as we have these supply chain problems and now even more pandemic stuff coming in, the price of things is going to continue to go up, because it's the old story about supply and demand, all right? what we're doing is we are ordering up more stuff than we've got in the stores, and the issue is that forces the price of what is in the store up again. So expect the prices to escalate even more. Hi, Kimmy. Kimmy, I wondered whether you could let me have an update. I believe you went to the cardiologist this week. Is that correct? If you want to just let me know privately and not tell everybody, that's fine. Or if it's okay for me to repeat it, type it in here. But I certainly would like to hear what the cardiologist said. All right, Sam saying, thanks for your warning, Sal. I am almost completely done with my Christmas shopping this year. I want to tell you, you are going to be so grateful for that, Sam. I've been trying to warn you for a year that this is going to get nasty. I didn't expect it to get as difficult as it's now becoming. And if you think it is bad now, wait until 2 weeks before Christmas when the stores will be really scrambling. On the other hand, I believe it will be a really bumper Christmas for those stores that have stock. But you will pay through the nose for things if you leave it too long. I actually decided, I thought to myself, I'm a calculator sort of person. I calculate things out and I go, what are the chances of the prices continuing to go up in the near future? And how long do I think this will happen? And I reckoned it would be about a year. And Kimmy, it's okay for me to repeat that for those people who are friends of yours who may listen to this? Just please let me know. I don't want to repeat it without your permission. All right, so I worked out what will I need within the next year that I have a chance of buying on Black Friday prices. And two things. I wanted a new computer, and also I wanted a new toaster oven. And I'm about to tell you the story on both of those. All right, so Kimmy's given me permission. Thank you, Kimmy. And Kimmy's saying that the cardiologist said she will need a pacemaker and is making plans for next month. That is awesome to hear, Kimmy. I am certain that that feels a whole lot better. Did you discuss the issue with the receptionist telling you there's nothing they can do for you? I hope you did. Because was that your doctor's receptionist, not your cardiologist, maybe? Ah, okay. Just like, really? You know, one of the most important things in recovery, I believe, and I'm not a medical person, is hope. If you hope, somebody tells you there is no hope, that's a pretty damning thing to do to your psyche. But if you hear, yes, you got this problem, but we have a solution, and the solution is a pacemaker, it takes it's a strange feeling, but it certainly tells you that something can be done. So I am very pleased, Kimmy. I send you my thoughts and prayers, and I am glad that happened. Whew. And we'll keep our fingers crossed that you can have the pacemaker. Okay. So that's what Kimmy's saying is that the person who told her that about. Okay, hold on a second. I ended the stream by accident.